In the annals of military history, few events are as peculiar as the Great Emu War of 1932. This conflict in Western Australia stands as a testament to the unpredictability of nature and the sometimes absurd intersections of wildlife and human interests. Post-World War I, Australia faced many economic challenges. The government, seeking to provide for returning veterans, allotted land in Western Australia for farming. These areas around Campion and other parts of Western Australia were ideal for wheat cultivation. Veterans turned farmers began to work on these lands, hoping for a peaceful and productive life. However, by 1932, the farmers faced an unforeseen adversary: thousands of emus. These large, flightless birds, having migrated from the inland after their breeding season, found the cultivated lands and irrigation systems to be ideal for feeding and water. They began to invade the farms in droves, trampling crops and destroying the farmers' livelihoods. The farmers, many of whom were veterans of World War I, appealed to the Australian government for assistance. They specifically requested machine guns, recalling their effectiveness during the war. The government, acknowledging the severity of the situation and the plight of the farmers, agreed to intervene, marking the beginning of what would become known as the Great Emu War. In November 1932, the Australian government deployed the military. The operation was led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal Australian Artillery. Equipped with 2 Lewis machine guns and a significant amount of ammunition, Meredith and his men set out to Campion, where the emus were causing the most damage. The soldiers quickly discovered that the emus were formidable adversaries. Despite their size and apparent clumsiness, the emus were remarkably agile and proved difficult to target. Their group movements were unpredictable, and they could run at speeds up to 50 kilometers per hour. The first significant encounter occurred in November. The soldiers found a flock of about 50 emus and opened fire. However, the birds scattered so effectively that only a few were killed. Another attempt was made with a similar outcome. The birds' resilience and the difficulty of the terrain rendered the military efforts largely ineffective. As the operation continued, the problems compounded. The number of emus killed was far lower than expected, and the public and media began to criticize the operation. There were reports in newspapers, both Australian and international, mocking the military's inability to deal with the emu insurgency. The soldiers, despite their earnest efforts, were fighting a losing battle. By December, it was clear that the operation was a failure. The military withdrew. Despite the military's withdrawal, the emu problem persisted. With the dust of the failed operation settling, the Australian outback was once again left to the mercy of the emu invasion. Farmers, the real victims of this peculiar war, continued to struggle, their livelihoods threatened by these seemingly harmless creatures turned relentless invaders. In a desperate attempt to control the situation, the Australian government introduced a bounty system. Individual hunters were incentivized to take matters into their own hands. And, as it turned out, this approach was far more effective. The emu population was finally brought under control, not through the might of military machinery, but through the resilience and determination of the common man. Today, as we look back, the Great Emu War is remembered as a peculiar chapter in Australian history, an unusual conflict, a testament to the unpredictable challenges that can arise when man tries to exert his dominance over nature, a reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions can be the most effective. And so, the Great Emu War serves as a reminder of the unpredictable challenges that can arise in the face of nature, a story that continues to echo in the vast expanses of the Australian outback. But the story doesn't end here, folks. There's a vast collection of such intriguing tales, peculiar events, and fascinating facts waiting to be explored. You, like us, find joy in uncovering the strange, the unexpected, and the awe-inspiring. Then we invite you to join us on this journey. All you have to do is hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends who might find it interesting, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. Doing so, you're not just supporting us, but becoming part of a community that shares your curiosity and thirst for knowledge. Are you ready for another adventure? Buckle up, because our journey through the annals of history, through the wild and the bizarre, is far from over. And remember, if you ever find yourself facing an army of emus, don't use a World War I machine gun, just let them be.